I was deemed an extremist because of a tattoo by my National Guard unit in Washington, D.C. And my orders were revoked to guard the Biden inauguration. Jerusalem cross tattoo, which is just a Christian symbol.
Is that
this is the one.
Is that the tattoo?
Yep, right here. This one is what got me disinvited. I'd never had orders revoked before. I mean, listen, it's a standard deal. You remember after January 6th, everyone was in Washington, D.C. Like Nancy Pelosi had the parking garages full of National Guardsmen. My commander called me a day before tepidly and was like, Major, you can just stand down. We don't need you. We're good. I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody's there. He's like, no, he couldn't tell me. When I was writing the book, I reached out to somebody in the unit who could confirm with 99.9% certainty because he was in the meetings and on the emails. Nope. Someone inside the DC Guard trolled your social media, found a tattoo, used it as an excuse to call you a white nationalist, an extremist, and you were specifically by name orders revoked to guard the inauguration.
Wow. That's Pete Hegseth, our presumably new Secretary of Defense. And I never heard that story before. But only in America, up till this point, are you not an extremist if you are into BDSM animal cosplay openly in the military, but you are considered an extremist unfit for duty if you have a Jerusalem cross tattoo. Well, Pete, you're in good company. I, too, have a Jerusalem cross tattoo. I got this in Jerusalem from the Razzouk family that's been operational since the year 1300, and I am very proud to wear my faith on my sleeve. Everybody freaking out and breathing in a bag over how this guy, who, by the way, was in the military for 20 years, was previously vetted to be the VA secretary and ran 2 veterans nonprofits, received the Bronze Star twice. The fact that he's an outsider from military contractors and isn't a board member to Lockheed Martin is kind of the whole point. And this story makes it even better. Any predictions for who we'll see next in the Trump cabinet?
Okay, yesterday we did somewhat of a review on Pete Hegseth. I believe this, I can't even get this man's last name right, and I've been hearing him say it all day. Anyhow, we know that Trump has now appointed him, and left-wing media has been going crazy. So much so that we might need to do a wellness check on MSNBC, because their description of Pete is amazing. Charlie Kirk pointed out, quote, if he's not a Christian nationalist, he's one of the best warriors. Quote, sees the military as a flaming sword for Christ. Quote, big, beautiful, muscular. Let's just watch it.
It hasn't come up yet that concerns me in terms of his policies is that if he's not a Christian nationalist, he's one of their best warriors. I mean, he sees the military at this point as a flaming sword for Christ. One of the other things that he sort of pushes on outside of misogyny and DEI is anti-Muslim bigotry. Part of the appeal to Trump to him is how he looks. I watched 650 Trump rallies. In very few of them, and almost all of them, did he talk about 1 or 2 men in the audience that were big, beautiful, and muscular. And what he sees in Hegseth is sort of an alpha man and is like an essential casting, an ideal character. And Hegseth knows that and leans into that role. And so a part of what he's going to be designed to do is to sell what Trump's vision, what Trump is doing to the very audience that just elected Trump, that's hopped up on the Russian misinformation and other misinformation that they are sort of being pickled in there. And he's going to be their sort of public figure for that. So that, to me, is the times that he could actually be, on the surface, a very effective sort of vanguard for the scariest of Trump's policies.
So when Kamala Harris used to say, we're not going back, Pete Hegseth is the person who's going to roll back every single thing. He's going to take away abortion rights in the military. He's going to remove equality for women. He's going to implement a trans ban. He's going to take out the senior leadership that aren't loyal. The Pentagon is going to be the beachhead for everything that Trump wants to do to change our country. And Pete Hegseth is going to be the general in the front line, carrying the flag, covered in the tattoos, and carrying the message.
I really want to know what's going on with left-wing media and their constant, demeaning of Christ and Christians. I don't know what created this thing. But I'm here to say, look, we here to stay. Somebody said the rule of thumb is the more MSNBS and other Nazi extremist outlets hate my picks, the better the picks are for my country. Facts. Now, this is from a Donald J. Trump Truth Social parody account. So they were speaking as if it was from the perspective of Trump. Again, it's a parody. Somebody said, I was already stoked on him. You don't have to keep selling me. Then he tried to make it all weird. Like, yeah, Trump, you just like the idea of a strong, muscular man. Anyhow, I don't really think I need to do introductions. I'll just say, here's the view.
That's not true.
So is this the guy who's qualified to make decisions about the most powerful military in the world, who clearly does not know anything about the military?
You know, and also I feel insulted. I'm a morning TV host, and I've been here the longest. Yes. Where's my ambassadorship to Italy, Donald? Was it something I said? That's not true.
Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah. It is. It's everything that you said. Remember, you used to trust Donald Trump. Used to, like him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Alrighty then. Whoopi Goldberg just said that Pete, a 20-year declared Army veteran with two Bronze Star medals, who served in the Iraq War and the war in Afghanistan, quote, clearly does not know anything about the military. Yeah, shout out to Right Wing Angel because he ended this with, you can't make this up. You really can't, man. These people are different, bro. The hate in these people is different. The hatred that they spew, the vicious vileness is like, I get that y'all don't like Trump, but like, man, y'all going for, okay. Anytime a lefty brings up Pete being unqualified, remind them of this.
Hello, my name is Admiral Rachel Levine, and I have the honor of being the Assistant Secretary for Health at the United States Department of Health and Human Services. Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride. Happy Summer of Pride. Gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers. As a pediatrician, when it comes to making sure kids are healthy and happy, I know how important care that affirmed someone's true identity can be. So, let's talk for a moment about the trans healthcare that our community needs, and transgender medicine and gender-affirming care. I mean, that term is important, although our opponents have weaponized it. So we really want to base our treatment and to affirm and to support and empower these youth, not to limit their participation in activities and sports, and even limit their ability to get gender affirmation treatment in their state. Hello, I'm Admiral Rachel Levine. This Black History Month, I'm pleased to partner with OMH in advancing better health through better understanding for Black communities. Climate change is having a disproportionate effect on the physical and mental health of Black communities. Black Americans are more likely than white Americans to live in areas and housing that increase their susceptibility to climate-related health issues. And 65% of Black Americans report feeling anxious about climate change's impact. Through our Office of Climate Change and Health Equity and the Office of Environmental Justice, we're working with providers and community leaders to identify innovative approaches that empower communities to address the health consequences linked to climate change. Visit hhs.gov for more information and tune in next Thursday to hear from another HHS leader on how you can contribute to advancing better health for Black communities.
Okay. As far as Pete, how do they justify their saying that he's unqualified? Like, Princeton, Harvard, educated individual from those two. I think he was a Princeton undergrad, Harvard graduate, a veteran in 3 combat theaters, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Guantanamo, I believe is what I'm reading right here. At first, I was only privy to Iraq and Afghanistan. 2 Bronze Star medals again. Numerous books authorized on military policy. I didn't know nothing about this. And had 2 different vet organizations. Yeah, I'm pretty astonished by this claim as well. Now, we're going to revisit a clip that we seen yesterday of Joy Reid, who decided to delete her ex today. Yay. Okay. And the second, we're going to hear her talk about, how he's unqualified. And then we're going to follow it up with, before you start freaking out about Pete, we're going to educate you. This is what the captain says. He has a bachelor's. Oh, we already talked about all that. Let's just run a clip.
The former and future president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet before he changes his mind and fires them all. Moments ago, Trump announced that he has selected Fox Weekend morning show host, you can't make this up, Pete Pete Hegseth to serve as Secretary of Defense, because why not?
The Pentagon is in the book, the exact amount of years, but in the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time inside the Pentagon war games. We know what our real capability. You see, we didn't even get to this part of the war on warriors. I mean, the military-industrial complex, the way we procure weapon systems. We're always the way our system works, the way our bureaucratic system works, where the speed of weapons procurement works. We're always a decade behind in fighting the last war, whereas China, we have what did Rumsfeld say? You go to the war to the army you have. We have the army. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. So if our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe. And yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if, 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, what does that look like?
Yeah.
I mean, and if they've already got us by the balls economically, which you pointed out very well, with our grid, culturally, there's plenty of elite capture going on around the globe. I mean, and then microchips and everything. Why do they want Taiwan? They want to corner the market completely on the technological future. We can't even drive our cars without the stuff we need out of China these days. I mean, they have a full spectrum, long-term view of not just regional, but global domination. And we have our heads up our asses.
People outside these walls, some of the press that are covering this, they don't understand the attachment that conservatives and freedom lovers have to Donald Trump, to the former president. They don't get it. They think it's some sort of a misinformation, cultish thing, cult of personality. Oh, they love the bravado. That's not what it is. I'll explain why we love them in one military analogy. I was a platoon leader in Iraq. I was an infantry platoon leader in the Army. And the one situation is the most dangerous situation that you don't want to find your platoon stuck in is what's called a near ambush. So you're walking through a neighborhood and you walk into a near ambush, meaning the enemy has the high ground, they're concealed, and you're stuck in what's called the kill zone on the X, and they've got you pinned down. Rifles, grenades, everything. You're right there in the kill zone. You don't want to be there. You're dead if you're in the kill zone, for the most part, unless you act. Okay? The battle drill for being in the kill zone of a near ambush is definitely not crouch down and hope you survive. Because that's never going to happen. Your only option is to immediately seek cover, immediately pop your grenade, throw it, and then charge toward the enemy that you still can't see. That's your only option if you want to survive. This is all metaphorically, of course, for the media out there. Right? Caveat necessary. It's your only hope. All right? Well, Republicans for decades, for years, have sat in the kill zone and said, just kind of like us. We're okay. We're not that bad. We're okay. We're nice behind our podiums, dressed up like this, hey, everybody, we're going to cut taxes just a little bit more. It doesn't work. Donald Trump said it's time to throw the grenades and charge at the enemy. That's why.
Now, this is our new Secretary of Defense, and he, why the troops love Donald Trump, explained that very well. I think that he's more than qualified. He's a very different kind of pick for sure. I think he's going to make sure, when I say different, he's different from what we've been seeing. Somebody said the pick looks strange, but hopefully it'll work out possible. Somebody said, yeah, it makes me wonder if his broadcasting experience is meant for something. Oh my God, people can be more than one thing. Okay, that's okay. Somebody said they didn't see this coming. He has a great bio also, Princeton and Harvard, U.S. Army. Yeah. I love the fact that Trump is appointing young, vibrant men to positions of leadership in the U.S. Smart guy, smart move, POTUS.